God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 40 of Your Journey Is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey, and the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey, and to your journey is not over. Neither are to be used, copied, or edited in any way without my consent. Before I really can begin about my spiritual awakening, I need to go way back to where my spirituality really started. It actually started so young, too young for me to even know or to have any fears or reservations. I like to say it came natural, and what I know now, all of these years later, and I also realize that my spirituality and my gifts are generational and are passed down to me somehow in my bloodline. And that's exactly what they are, too. They're gifts from God, the gift to have insight, foresight, intuition, and listening to our gut feelings. That's our souls trying to tell us when something is off or just doesn't feel right. As the saying goes, trust your gut. And your first gut instinct about whatever situation is always right. Whether we follow that or not is, again, free will. The best way I describe it now is we all have gifts from God. But are you tuning in? Getting the signs? Open to the signs that are being sent to you. Numbers on the clock, or just numbers you're seeing repeatedly. And again, on the clock, car plates, your phone. Also, nature, birds, redbirds, bluebirds, butterflies even. White butterflies are huge to me personally because my grandma told me once that if she could come back as anything, it would be a white butterfly. And every time I seen one, to think of her and know that she's close and watching over me. Never during this conversation with her did she mention death. We only had one conversation about death, and that was the last time I ever stayed with her. But I believe all of these are signs from God and our angels, and they come and show up when we need them the most, at our weakest and hardest days of our journey. Do you know how many people that I've expressed all of this to that now tell me, Tanya, I never realized or was never open to it? No one had never explained it to them, and for them to be open to receiving and seeing the signs. Again, we all have gifts. God and the angels in the universe are always trying to communicate with us. And my grandma's way of saying it was, an angel comes into your life every single day. It's whether you get it or not. She also explained it to me like this. Your angels will not be waving a big white flag in front of your face, neither. The signs and angels will come to you disguised as people God put on your path, and other signs will be small, subtle signs that only you will get. My words now, okay? I get signs through people, nature, songs on the radio, a memory or a deja vu even. And yes, again, we all, each and every one of us, have the exact same gifts. Remember, we were created equal by God Himself, and some use their gifts for the good of others. Could be as simple as kindness, a smile, uplift people, even strangers that were barely getting through their day, and one simple act of kindness changed everything for them. And there are those that are tuned in too to the gifts, so much so that they become master manipulators. They can manipulate energy to their benefit, control others' thinking process, or how others perceive certain people or situations. I call that word magic. Those are master manipulators and fake spiritualists. And we all know how God feels about fake anything. He's not too fond of pretenders or illusionists. Again, fake spiritualists. He didn't give us these gifts to use for the devil or doing the devil's work. And the real spiritualists use them for the good, the way they were intended to be used. And if you know anything at all about spirituality, or if you don't, and you're just learning, then one must first be educated on spiritual laws. These are laws created by God in the universe and must be followed. Again, we all have free will, right? Well, when God and the universe see you, because they see every single thing, please never be ignorant enough or try to convince yourself that God is too busy to notice when you're doing the devil's work. Because our God sees and hears every single thing ever done or said. He's not blind nor deaf, and he's never too busy to oversee his kingdom and every child he ever created. Some fake spiritualists try and hide behind, notice I did say some, okay? But some try to hide behind the fact that they go to church every Sunday. Again, something else my grandma used to say. Boy, am I sure glad she repeated herself on a daily with all of her many, many sayings. And I now know why, in the hopes I would one day remember them and truly understand every saying that she shared. I remember everything, Grandma, and yes, I now understand every single one too. She would say, baby, anyone can put a dress on and call themselves a Christian. Don't be fooled by that. It's what's in your heart that makes a true Christian. God asked us to be a good person, love others, do unto others as we would want done unto us, help anyone you can. That's a true Christian. Again, so many people, not all okay, think by doing the devil's work throughout the whole week, then going to church on Sunday, that they're good, all is forgiven, because they went to church. And most just to say that they went. Those are the ones I pray for the most because the way I was taught, how disrespectful to God. How dare some people walk into the house of the Lord after doing his enemy's dirty work all week long? Backstabbing. God doing everything that God does not stand for all week long, every week. God have mercy on those souls. The only person those people are lying to and fooling are themselves, not God. Society is so used to two-faced, backstabbing, jealous, envious people. Again, that's all the devil. God's not a backstabber, a sellout, a deceiver. No, not at all. He's loyal, loving, faithful, and too graceful and divine to enjoy anyone's downfall, let alone participate or initiate it. So those fake spiritualists, it's going to take a whole lot more than going to church on Sunday to save your soul. Just a word from a real spiritualist. Or as I like to say, will the real true spiritualist please stand up? That would be me. Of course, I have to use my sense of humor when it comes to certain people. How can you not, right? But back to the beginning of today's podcast. My gift started early, at 6 years old to be exact. Let me go back to 2 weeks old first. When I was taken to Kentucky and I lived with my grandparents and my big brother, well, my great-grandfather, my grandma's dad, he lived with us too. And he was really sick and wheelchair bound. And as the stories I was told go, he despised my brother because my brother was ornery and would tease our great-grandfather a lot. And then here I came. I was the baby of 4 generations at that time. And I'm sure with my health issues, both combined made me special to the elders. I was the baby. Well, he passed away June 20th of 1971. So we were in the same house together, but for about 4.5 months. And no memory of him. Of course not. I was too young. Now let's fast forward to again 6 years old. That's when the trauma that I can remember really begun for my brother and I. Well, every day when I would go outside, I began to see this older man. I would talk to him and him to me. I don't remember any fear ever, looking back, which was strange because I didn't talk or trust anyone other than my brother and my grandma, nonverbal with anyone else. But this man would show up every day, play with me in the yard, pretend tea parties, pick dandelions. He was always there, every day. I remember even one time I got up before everyone else, and my brother had willed and dilled. By the way, he was good at that. He would go to our city dump and find things and trade those things off for bigger, better things. Not to get off track, but that's how he blow dried my hair the first time. He found a used blow dryer at the dump and taught me how to blow dry and style my hair. I wore that style, the Farrah Fawcett style, until high school. My Mr. Macho, Harley riding brother had a soft side. And since I didn't have a mom to teach me these things, my brother did all of that. And that's also how I got my Barbie house. But he had traded up to a little swimming pool, and it had water in it. I snuck up before anyone else was up, and I got into the pool. Mind you, I was tiny. And I almost drowned that morning. I have a very vivid memory of this old man pulling me out of the pool. Again, always right there. Now let's fast forward to about 10, 11 years old. One of our favorite things to do together, my grandma and I, was to sit together on the Davenport, never a couch, and look through old family albums. She wanted me to know everyone in the pictures, know who they were, because a lot of them had already gone to heaven. She pulled out an album I had never seen before, and we were going page by page. And she was telling me who everyone was and how we were related. Well, she flipped the page, and there was a picture of that very same old man. I said, "Grandma, that's Newt." And she looked at me slowly and said, "Who told you to call him that?" I said, "He did." She said, "When?" And I told her everything I have said here today. I remember the small smile on her face, even to this day. She proceeded to tell me that was her dad, George Newton, my great grandfather, and that he was who was with me, watching over me, playing with me every day, having tea parties with me, and that saved me from drowning, and was trying every way he could to protect me from horrible abuse that was happening at that time. She never said nor talked about it, but it was at that very moment she knew I had the gifts, generational gifts. I do have so much to share, and yes, the inner child in me wants to just jump right in and tell you everything about the most recent parts of my journey and the spiritual warfare that I've been through. But before I can get to that, I must first start at the beginning of my gifts and how I came to recognize my gifts and use them for the good of other people. A true spiritualist cannot use their gifts to manipulate or change someone else's free will, but we can teeter the line on the warnings that we give out, hoping to detour people and keep people that we care about from danger. Again, we all have gifts from God. It's free will how we use them. And be careful, because of spiritual laws, God's watching and can take those gifts away as easy and as freely as He gave them to you. God giveth, and God taketh away. The Bible defines spirituality as being born again by God, changed by grace, and living according to the Spirit of God. Spiritual warfare means, and the Bible speaks of spiritual battles against evil forces, not merely physical enemies. Believers are encouraged to put the full armor of God for protection in a spiritual battle. Please know, with the belief in God, the faith in God, the trust in God, the devil can't touch you. Stay prayed up, defeat the devil and his many demons doing his dirty work. With God, you can overcome, survive, and do anything. This concludes my podcast for today. Please join me next Tuesday. Listen in, and always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows.